And again, I don't want to steal your thunder for your press conference, but we look towards college. Are there things at the state level that can be done to help college enrollments go up? I mean, right now, just about every college is seeing record enrollments because of the economy.
Yes.
Anytime the economy goes south, people go back to school and get that education.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back to the good years, are there things that the state can do maybe to increase that enrollment and keep it?
And I believe the biggest thing is if students went to college and realized that there was a job for them afterwards, I think that's a bigger indicator. If they could find jobs here, especially, a lot of times students in families don't want to separate. They don't want to go the long distances. And there's no point in going to a college. I know for several people I've even talked to, my brother's one of them, that he realized there's no point in going to college if he can't find a job of what he wants to do here in town. So I think by bringing jobs in and, again, having jobs available that people realize that they need a college education for, that's more of a motivator for them to go to college, even on these years that we do have a good economy. As long as there's a job waiting that they know that they're interested in here locally, and I think this will help them. So.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about property tax caps. Do you think it's time to write it into the Constitution? Do you think the dust is settled enough?
Well, anytime you talk about tax caps or raising taxes, it's a hot button issue, like you said. And I've talked to a lot of voters out there, and a lot of people want these property tax caps. The only problem is they also want all the services that were being paid for by the property taxes before. And right now, when you try to use the property or the sales tax for the same services, since our economy is the way it is, it's actually hurting these services. It's hurting the schools. It's hurting a lot of local, things are funded by the property taxes. So at a time like this, it does not look good to put this property tax caps on it. So that's, at this point, I like the idea of having a stable income for the government, stable income for the education, and again, a lot of these other services that are being provided. So it is kind of tough for me to say, but I think at this point in time, with the economy the way it is, we need the property tax to have the stable income so we know what we're going to be spending next year and the year after and the year after that at this point. Now, sales tax, again, I like the idea if our economy is moving that we can base our taxes off sales tax, but it's so unpredictable with the economy is always going up and down. So property tax caps at this point, I would say, is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Plus, if you look at the fact that, there's been a lot of talk on the federal level
Mm-hmm.
of a national sales tax.
Yes.
And if you did something like that, we would have to wonder how that would skew things as well.
And that actually made me, I was a big proponent of the fair tax, it was called, especially during the years where our economy was really good. And I thought it was just a great idea. Everyone's paying their share. If you buy more, you pay more. If you don't buy as much, you get to save more of your money. And I still think it's a great concept, but again, that uncertainty there, who knows what programs we'll have to cut on the national level if we did have that at a bad economy like now. So it's making me second guess some of this. Maybe it'd be still all right to do a national sales tax to an extent, and then have a fixed income or fixed tax on another point. Maybe a system, kind of a hybrid system of it maybe might work. But at this point in time, it's making me second guess the idea of that fair tax again with the economy the way it is.
And one of the things that kind of goes along with the property tax caps is local entities have that ability to raise the local income tax.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we've been talking about property taxes, it's going to be pretty stable from year to year.
Mm-hmm.
If your economy is worsening, your income tax isn't going to be a real stable thing for people to be basing their revenue projections on for local governments as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's something that would need to be looked at as well?
It definitely could be looked at, and the big problem is a lot of times people don't want to touch that. Again, hot button issue, especially with elections so often at the city level. A lot of them don't want to do that, raise the taxes, because they know they probably won't be around next time around. It is something you can look at, but raising taxes are never good. That's why I am bigger into looking at where we're spending the money, finding better, more efficient ways of running the government cheaper so that we don't have to worry about cutting programs here, but keeping the programs we have on the same budget. Just like any family does in the bad economy, a lot of times maybe you switch from buying name brand to generic brand. You're still getting what you need, but you're saving money here that you could spend somewhere else. And I think that's what our government needs to look at more than raising taxes, even at a time like this.
Mm-hmm. One of the, not so much this year, but last year there was a lot of talk of bringing a casino to this area.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about a casino in Fort Wayne in the 84th District? Do you think it's a good fit?
And that's always what I was always taught back in even senior year economics, NIMBY, not in my backyard. I like the idea that industries can come in. I like the idea of governments not restricting industries. That's more my libertarian side there. That I like businesses to decide where they want to be and how they operate. And I like the idea that a casino could come in if they wanted to. But at the same time, I think it should be up to a lot of the people in the district to decide if they want a casino nearby. I think that they realize what a casino could lead to. It could lead to again, a change in the atmosphere around their homes, their schools, everything else. And I think they should have a say in whether this is coming to their district or not. Again, I am for the idea of having a casino. I just think that the citizens should have a part in being able to decide for themselves whether it should be here or not.
Mm-hmm. Would you be concerned at all about, the government becoming too dependent on those revenues from the casinos? I mean, that's what we've seen here, the last year is, the casinos are coming back and saying, well, we can't afford the fees that we promised and the licensing and all this.
Yep.
And
it's always scary if the government does become dependent on all kinds of things, and when they have a steady income stream like we have for years with our sales tax until this recent recession. And it is scary for the government if they can't depend on something that seems to be dependable. And I don't think it should ever be something we depend on solely. It's something that we could possibly use, put towards an extra fund, or if we get extra money from this, then we can delve it out to the businesses or to places where we need to do this, maybe for colleges, or maybe we can even do that as an extra college fund that we could set up with it. But I don't think we should ever run the meat of the government off of casino revenue or anything else that might be that fluctuates that much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.